Hi, we're back for our second video on English paper piecing, and today I'm going to show you how to cut out, how to fussy cut something, and then I'll also show you how to begin to stitch the pieces together. This is what we're working on. Most of you have gotten the kits. We do have 2 kits left right now and if you call the store and you want another one, or you know somebody that does, we'll set it aside for you and you can get it. So there's only 2 left of this one here.
815-410-5068. 815-410-5068.
I'm glad that she said that because I never remember it. You know, I remember the time that we knew all phone numbers, not anymore. So this is something that I wanted to show you. We, Mary Ann had scheduled a class for this. This is a project bag. I love these things. You can keep all of your tools in here and even your pieces. When I have them all cut out, I just set them in here in the baggie, and I can grab this and I can go, and it's ready to go when I'm on the run. So this is a great tool. I think this was a free Moda pattern that they could download, and it's just a project bag. And so we have all the different, we have the vinyl here and we have the zippers and that. So if you ever want to make one, go on to Moda and there's a free pattern for this. Okay, today I am going to show you how to cut out. And if you'll notice, this pattern, it's tough to see because of the fabrics that they've chosen. But this piece right here, there's 6 of them, and that is this piece right here. And also, these pieces out here are the same as this. When I first looked at this pattern, I thought that these were appliqued on. It wasn't. They fussy cutted this, and they fussy cut this center too. And so that's what we're going to learn how to do today. Okay? This is a pattern. This is in your pattern, and this is really what I kind of go by. If you notice, now on this one, I put we're gonna be doing a Christmas one, but I wrote down color 1, what we used, color 2, and so forth through. And I kind of went in and I marked each of the pieces of what I wanted to cut them out to be. It's just a great way of keeping you organized when you're cutting your fabric. So that's something that I used. Now when I am cutting out my pattern, I kind of look to see where the different stripes are. On this one, I am going to choose this orange stripe. There's a black stripe, a purple, a black, a purple, black, and white that's along the, to you, I guess it would be your right side. To me, it's my left. So I'm going to center this point on the center of the orange. I also kind of took and I folded this in half. I don't want to do it on this one, but I folded it in half and kind of put a crease here so that I knew where the center was up here. And then I laid this on, making sure that I have enough seam allowance to go all the way around. So then I would put it on here like this. I use a piece of glue, and I would glue the back side of this piece. Just put a little dab, a little circle of glue, and then lay it down where you want it. So I would lay it like that. Now I'm not going to do that because this is a kit and I don't want to ruin it. So then I'm going to take my 3/8 inch, add a ruler, or if you wanted, you could have add a quarter ruler too. I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it along the edge, and if you can look, it butts right up against that cardboard piece. when you have that glue on, it will automatically keep this down and you don't have to worry about it. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to cut. Now, I'm going to cut. When you're fussy cutting, there's waste. You'll have like Swiss cheese fabric. Now it's not gonna go that way, so I need to turn this. This is where it really comes in nice to have the turntable cutting. And so I'll turn it. You also, when you are fussy cutting, you do not want to have double fabric. You're going to have to cut out each piece. It's also not, if you don't get these seams perfectly centered, you want it centered, but cut. If it's shorter than 3/8, not a big deal. So I'm just gonna make sure that that is right in position where I want it. Now what I would do is I would take my glue stick, and you know what? I'll just buy another pattern because I need to show them how.
Don't worry about it.
So we're gonna use our glue stick. You don't want an overly amount of glue on it, but you want enough that it's going to stay stuck down. You're also gonna go in. You're not going to put it right on the edge, and you're not gonna put it on the edge of your fabric, right in here. So I'm going to take, and I kind of tilt it to the side, and I move in a little bit, and I will go out on that edge, but you see, I'm not right on the very edge of the fabric. And then I take my finger and I just push up against that cardboard, holding it in place, and then I'm going to rotate. Now, what you want to remember to do is always, if I started right here on this edge, that's the edge that I'm going to start on all of them, because then your points will line up okay for you. So now I'm going to go to the next side, and I'm just going to put in some glue, and then I will fold this over. This is a great way, something to do when you're watching TV with your family. Now you see how this, I want to make sure that didn't shift, and it did shift a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to go, I knew that it had shifted because this wasn't quite a 3/8 inch. And so I wanted to make sure that my point was where I needed it to be. Now I can go and I can push here. Then I'm going to do the next side. Like I said, this is kind of a mindless thing, and you can watch TV and do it and not really lose your place. Okay, so there we have one, and there it is. Now, I probably would take this off a little bit here because do you see the point is right here, and it's not lined up with that orange, and I want it to be right in the center of that orange. So if you look here, see how they all meet in the center? So what I would just do is I would peel this back. A little bit, and peel this side back, and then I would take and I would put a little glue on the back side and just make sure that that's sticking right in the center of that. that orange line. Then I'll just re-glue it and put it right back down. It's really forgiving. I mean, you can just play with it and get it to where you want it. You don't want to bend over and bend the cardboard though. You want to make sure that the fabric is just laying right up against the cardboard. Now, if you look, do you see how the point is right in the center of that orange line? All right, then we're going to do another one. Now, when you're doing another one, I want to show you, because this is striped, so you would think that I could go to the next orange position. So maybe I could go right here at this orange one. But this stripe is it's different. So my stripe was, where is it? It was orange, and then it was black, purple, black, white. So I need to find that again. So here is orange here. There's orange, black. Let's see. Nope, this one isn't right. So I have to, there's a lot of waste with fussy cutting. And that's why you need to buy extra fabric. So right here is this pattern. If you look, there's orange. Oh, let's see, that's wrong.
Upside down.
It's upside down. Yep, that's right. So it's the orange, black, purple, black, white. That's the one that I want. So now I'm going to show you how I will put a little bit of glue right here, and then we can it's right here, and I can just line this up there, lining it up in the center, because I would fold. This is kind of how I see where that center is. I just put a little fold in there, because you're going to fold this cardboard all the time when you're sewing them together. And then I'm going to line it up and line it up at the top in the center, lining it at the point in the center, and there I have it. Now you'll want, when I cut, I can turn this. I don't have to worry about it shifting. If you're not fussy cutting, you can, and you need multiple pieces, go ahead and cut, fold your fabric in half and cut multiple, the layers at once. And then you can just glue your heart away. Okay, so that one is done. Now remember, I said I started at this, the left, for me it's the left side, and went down. I was just making sure that the point was right. When you have, if there are acrylic templates out that you can get for different shapes, and especially when you're paper piecing, the acrylic templates really make a difference. It really help you see and place your template where you want it. But you can get around it too, this way. Okay, so now I have 2 of those. And so what you're going to do is you're going to sew. Do you see how? See, because my points are going the opposite, the same way, I can just lay that right in there like that. And there you are. It'll line up for you. If I wanted to, I could put it this way. Whichever way you want, you can do it. So then you would make 6 of those, just like this. You're gonna make 6. And then you're gonna sew 3 together on one side and 3 together on the other, and then you would sew those 2 sets together. All right, now I'm gonna show you how I cut out the skeleton. Do you see what I mean about Swiss cheese? So that's what happens because you're cutting out. And so again, you're always gonna need more fabric if you're fussy cutting. See, I could have used this piece as my set instead of the skull. So you look at, I could have maybe done this one, the hand. You just pick out what you want. And then I need another one of the big things. So on this one too, I kind of looked where I wanted it. And so if you look, the skull is up further because I wanted him kind of positioned in the center. So I took and I folded my piece right in half. And then I actually took a pencil and I put a line there and I put a line there, and then I went here and I folded this kind of down. Like I said, it's not gonna hurt that you're folding the cardboard. It's not a big deal. And so I got those points lined up exactly in the same place. And then I put a line there, and I put a line there, and I did this on every piece. So then I could go in here and I could kind of judge. I knew that this was sort of, not halfway, but it was a good judgment that maybe that would fit over his eye. If you look down here, here's part of that bird is right here. And so the point is going on there. And so I'm looking to see what I can line up with these points when I find them. So I would probably take and line up right here with this leaf. I would put a point there. I could line up with this, there's a spider web there. I could line up and I'll find the place that I want to line up, and I'm going to kind of put that in the center of the spider web.
Let me show them over here.
Yeah. Right in here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm just making sure. I want to maybe move this over a little bit more. So this is where I'm gonna set this. Now, and I can kind of look, I see how I'm folding it back, and I'm seeing what I'm gonna get in my piece. And so now I know where I want it, and I'm going to put a piece of glue. Just dab it.
This is where having the acrylic templates makes
Yes,
a
a lot of difference. The
you can
acrylics.
see through those.
Okay, so there I go. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue down here too. So there I am. you want to put your lid back on your glue too, because that glue dries out really easy. Okay, I'm gonna start cutting this.
In the same place.
I'm a gadget girl, so I like every gadget I can get to help me with the projects that I'm doing. And you can look at my sewing room and know that.
Are you talking about the Laurie and Laurie?
My granddaughter came into my sewing room one time, and she looks around. She was about 4 or 5, and she looks around. She was just in awe. It's like she'd never seen it before. And she says, "Grammy, is this gonna be all mine when you die?" I went, "Yeah, right." I was a little bit younger then too, so she's waiting. Okay, so you take that off. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to line up kind of where I was, kind of judging where that 1/4, 3/4, or 3/8 inch seam is. Okay, see how I did that? Now I'll put this, and I'm starting at that same place, folding it over. You'll get to the point where you'll know how much glue. You want to make sure that when you get down to the points that you've got that fabric pretty tight up against it, the cardboard.
On the other hand, if you use too much glue,
You can't get the needle through.
yep.
And that's why you stay away from the edge of the fabric. Move the glue in. You've got 3/8 of a seam allowance there that catches it. And there you are. There he is.
Scary.
Now you could have moved this over. I could have moved him over a little bit more, but I mean he's pretty.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
So the next time you do, and you're going to do 6 of these. Actually, you're going to do 3 of these, and then you're going to do 3 of the orange. Okay, so you'll do 6 of the stripe, 3 of the skull, and 3 of the orange. The orange, I did kind of fussy cut. I kept the center of the web in the center.
A different one though.
Yeah.
That one's got a fly in it.
Yeah. So, but I just kind of wanted the center of the web in there. All right. So that is what you're going to do with every single piece on here. Like on these, I didn't fussy cut all those. I did fussy cut the gray. I fussy cut it and looked for the butterflies. And then up here, in the corners, there are skulls that I fussy cutted those. But the rest of them, I did not. So on the gray fabric, I fussy cutted, but everything else, the white, black and white, and the purple, I did not. Okay? All right, now I want to show you how, and I'm just going to use this thread, it'll work fine. I'm going to take out one of my needles. And this is the thing that I don't even know where I learned to do this. I've just done it for years. I do this very same thing when I bind a quilt. any hand sewing that I do this. I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to lay it over my needle. And then I sit and I squeeze it between my fingers and I kind of pull that needle out and I lay the eye facing up and I open up my finger a little bit and just kind of saw, and that thread will go right through. And then I will take it and I bring it down. I have a loop at this end. And I will put the needle into the loop. And then I pull down on one strand so that I don't have too long of the short strand. And I just kind of pull, and then I'll pull like that. And now I have, that's in that needle. And it's not going to go, so my needle isn't constantly coming unthreaded when I'm pulling. So then I'm going to take these two pieces. Now I should have,
You're so tight.
yep, I'm gonna get my sew tight out. These things are like valuable to me. They also hold your needles, so
Yeah.
I don't lose my needles like I normally do, and then get yelled at because somebody walks on them. Let me see which wood I like better. I think that's fine, right there. All right, so I'm gonna take each piece, I'm going to put them, and I'm butting the edges up together like this, and I'm kind of lining it up. I kind of watch where it's gonna go. And this you just do with the fussy cutting. So then I take the sew tight and I hold that there, and I take the sew tight and put the magnet on the back, and there I have that, and it's all in place, ready for me to sew. Now if I don't like, do you see how the edge is a little over, they're not matching perfectly? So I'll just take it and butt it up a little bit. Now I have, and there's a lot of different things that I end up doing. If that edge doesn't match and the other edge does, I will sew at one end and go in like maybe a fourth of the way, and then I'll come back to this end and making sure that those points are matched, and I'll sew this way. And then that, because sometimes it'll be like it needs to be eased in. And when I do it like that, do either end, then it just naturally eases in and it works fine. So I also don't tie a knot. Now you can, if you want to tie a knot on the end of your thread, I kind of tie what they call a surgeon's knot, and I wrap it around, bring it down, and then slide it, and my knot is right at the end, right there. Then you can take it and you can bury it right in underneath the fabric into the point. Now me, what I really have found that I like better, because I don't like the knots, I will take and I will come in and I will catch a little bit of on one side and a little bit on the other side. I pull that up and I will hold that strand right there, and then I'm going to go again in there, and I'm going to wrap, go in the loop once, go into the loop twice, and pull it down. And now I am secured in there. Then I move down. I'm going to move down a little bit, and I'm just going to go start sewing. Now this is about how far down, about that much of a bite in there is what I take. You're not going to go into the cardboard. You want to be right on the very edge. And but you'll feel sometimes the cardboard, and your needle will just kind of grab the very top of it. That's fine. That's not going to hurt it. But I'm just going to keep going and moving down.
About how many stitches per inch you think you're doing?
I don't know. I've never
10?
counted it.
Maybe 10, 12?
Maybe 10 or 12, something like that. You know, I mean, this is what's holding it together, so you want your stitches. I would say I'm about, what, a 16th? Would you call that a 16th?
Probably.
From here to here, about a 16th of an inch away from the last one I made. The idea is that you don't grab too much of the top of take too big of a bite into it, because then you will have problems with you showing your
Stitches.
the stitches. But really, a lot of times they all blend right in, and I have to have a good light over me in order to do this. And I'm just gonna go kind of halfway down. Now I can open it up and show you what. This is where, what do we have? We have Thread Magic, because Thread Haven went, Thread Heaven went out of business, and so the Thread Magic works just great. And I usually will coat my thread with Thread Magic. I don't even think I brought any in there. This is very interesting to do when you have the cat wrapped around your neck.
Cats love to grab the thread when you pull it through too.
Yeah, they do. So I'm going to open this up just to show you. And there you are. See how that's, and you can't see the stitches. And then that will work its way all the way down until I get down here. And when I get down to this point, I'm going to do that double, going into the loop twice and then pulling it up as a knot, and it won't come out. It's actually hard to tear it out if you have to. And I have to. Sometimes I don't like how they're lining up down here, so I'll tear it all out and go start over with it. But that is what you're going to get. And so there's on the back, you can see what the back looks like. And the stitches are right along here. So that's it. And that's what you're going to do. And then I would put, let's say this was another stripe. I would come in here. I would add this one onto here and sew that down. Then I have that section done, and I would do another section just like this. So let's see where that paper is. Right here. It is this one. This is the one that you're going to go by. So here it's showing you that you're going to sew the 3 center pieces, which are these. Then you're going to come up here and you're going to do section 2 is right down here. It's showing you. You would sew 4 onto a piece number 1, which is your purple. 4 is your black dot. You're going to sew a piece onto your number 1. You're going to, actually, I would sew the 2 ones together. Then I would bring this in and I would sew this on the edge, and then that's the wrong one, it's this one here. You're going to sew this on, and then you're going to kind of turn it, and that's where you're going to fold your cardboard a little bit to get that to line up. And next time we can show you even a little bit more of that. But that's all there is to English paper piecing.
It's very easy.
It is so easy, and it's very, very relaxing to me. I sat up the other night until 12:30 at night. I got so engrossed in a series on Netflix that I just couldn't shut it off, and I worked on this that whole time. To find out that that was season 1 and there is no season 2, and they left you hanging. Oh my gosh, I hate that. So anyway, enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. Remember, we have 2 more kits of this left. If you know, maybe a friend would like to do it with you, and just give us a holler, and we will set you up with one of the kits. So come back in a little bit. We'll do another video as we start moving forward and starting to put these pieces together. So your assignment is to get all your pieces cut out, and then just start putting them together. And then we'll come back in and we will show you how to put these all in and make. Actually, you will be doing, where is it? Right here. It's this one. Then you'll sew this side together, you'll sew this side together, and then you're going to sew right up that center together. So it's a big job to get these all cut out. So get them cut out. I would suggest start putting these sections following the color placements, because it's important where you place the color placement. So do one that's a 6 and the 5 and the 3, and then the 3, the 5, and the 6. Those, you can see that they intersect diagonally. So follow the diagram and you will be just fine. Okay?
Cool.
So we will see you in a couple days or weeks or whatever, and we'll get back with you and start putting it together.